All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad that you can make it out today. Make sure that you text your teams. This is our corporate update call. So whoever you have on your team that will benefit, which is basically everyone, shoot them a text, pass on the graphics that we send on our Telegram and our WhatsApp. They're really concise. It's really an awesome opportunity to hear what's coming down the pipeline here at ACTIVZ. To start off, I want to toss it over to Angie. She's got some talk points about Aero. Angie?
All right, thank you, Dale. So exciting news. We started shipping Aero yesterday. So if you placed your Aero order in the month of February, then it's starting to ship, and we're going to be shipping Aero throughout the week. So if you haven't received your tracking number, don't worry. We're shipping them from the oldest orders first to the newest orders, but we are starting to ship Aero, which is so exciting. So to celebrate in the month of March, what we are doing is we are kicking off another raffle to work with Sinead. So right now we have 4 individuals, actually it's 5 individuals counting me, working with Sinead. And I can tell you that working with her is absolutely phenomenal. So we are super excited. And the raffle is really easy. The only thing you need to do is enroll someone between March 1st and March 7th. And we're going to do the raffle on March 8th as to who's going to win this coaching session with Sinead. I can tell you that I have been taking Aero, so luckily I was able to get a sample from the Mexico products that we had sent up. So I have been taking Aero and working with Sinead for probably about, I think it's about 3 weeks now. It was 3 weeks last Friday. And my results have been phenomenal. I've lost 11 pounds so far. I just weighed myself this morning. So and Karen did a great job giving her testimonial last night. So if you guys didn't watch it, we're going to get the recording posted, but she talked about her results with Aero as well. And she's had phenomenal results. So she was brave enough to share her statistics and her weight. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I started at 155 and I'm now down to 144. So within the 3 weeks of taking Aero and working with Sinead, I've lost a total of 11 pounds. And what is great is that, so a lot of people, and Trish talked about this before. So a lot of people, when they start working out and they start losing weight, they don't really feel like they are like losing the fat, like you still have like the fat that's like hanging on your body, even though the pounds are dropping. Or in Trish's case, she took this metabolic test where it said that she didn't need to lose any weight, but she kind of felt like she had the pudge there that needed to go away. And what Trish, and hopefully Trish, I'm telling this how you were experiencing it, but she was seeing that her body was toning up. Even though she wasn't losing weight, her body was toning up and she was losing kind of that pudge that if you're a woman, you've probably experienced it, but the pudge that the women experience. And with me, I have lost pounds, but I'm also feeling like that pudge is going away. Like I'm losing those fat cells around, especially my arms and my belly, also my pants. The great thing has been, I've recently ventured out into the world. I've been kind of quarantined in my house for a long time. So I recently ventured out and I saw a few friends, and I had multiple people come up to me and said, wow, you're probably one of the only people that hasn't had the quarantine 15. So the extra 15 pounds that we're all getting from being on quarantine. So they're like, you're looking great. How come you haven't had this winter weight come on you? And I will say it's been working with Sinead and taking Aero. And it's only been the last 3 weeks, because I would say I had the quarantine 15 3 weeks ago, and I've lost 11 of it. So I have a few more pounds to go, but I'm feeling absolutely phenomenal. She is amazing to work with. She understands where you're coming from. She takes it baby steps at a time. So I'll tell you, the thing that I am working on with Sinead is we're working on cutting out sugar. And I didn't really eat that much sugar before. It's not like I was eating tons and tons of sugar, but she takes it baby steps. And that's the first thing that we're working on, is cutting out sugar. So by working with Sinead and also taking Aero, I've had great results. So I want you all to have the same results that I'm having. So what you need to do, like I said, is enroll at least just one person. For every person you enroll, you'll get an extra entry into the raffle. And we're going to do this throughout the month. So you don't need to, you're not going to miss out if you haven't enrolled anyone yet, or if you don't enroll someone by the 7th, but your chances are greater at winning a raffle if you do it early. So enroll someone, it's going to be on our Aero Packs or our premium packs. So we have our Aero kit, which has all of the products. We have our Aero 5+1, where you buy 5 arrows and you get 1 free. And then we have some premium packs that will count towards entering you into this raffle. Another announcement on our Aero kit is we recently made a change and we've included genomics in that kit. So it's now $240, but you get the genomics and the serum for free. So this is a great kit where you can use all of the products. It comes with all 3 of our more products, OptimEnd, Link, Genomics, and Aero. So this is a great pack for you to be using and experiencing all the products. All of the products are phenomenal. And I will say that the trifecta and Aero work great together. Link has its own weight loss properties and benefits. But if you're using Aero as a, like an energy drink, then OptimEnd is great for reducing inflammation, and Genomics with our Nerve2 activation. So being able to get all the products at this great discount is awesome. So make sure you check out that. We're calling it the Aero Plus kit. So before it was called the Aero Launch kit, and now we're calling it the Aero Plus kit. So look for that in your back office. Again, it includes all the products. It's $240, 240 PV. So I think this is a great change to that pack. But back to the enrollments. Enroll your people the first 7 days so you can get entered into that raffle. Like I said, Sinead's amazing. You guys want to work with her. I want you guys to have the results that I'm having. So get your enrollments in. And Dale, that is all that I have for that.
Awesome, Angie. Thanks so much. And a big welcome to each of the people that are entering in. I just want to say hi, wave at you. Hope you're doing well. Up next, we've got Stu. He wants to share a couple thoughts about the call going on last night. Stu?
Yes, thanks, Dale. Thanks, Angie, for sharing. Much like what Angie shared and also talked about is now we only have our weekly calls once a week on every Tuesday. So Tuesdays, just get in your mind every week of the month, the first, second, third, and fourth Tuesdays is our ACTIVZ call. So easy to remember. And hopefully that doesn't put too much burden on you and your team in your building and your seminars and presentations that you have. But anyway, on the first Tuesday of every month, we have our testimonial calls. And as Angie pointed out, Karen was so brave to share a lot of her personal information with her experience with Aero. She's only been on it for 1 week and she's already been seeing results. So, you know, I myself cannot wait to try it, knowing that Angie, Karen, and a lot of people in Mexico and those who here in the United States won that Aero in December have had phenomenal results. So, you know, it's very good to listen in on what people have experienced or their personal experience with the product with Aero. But throughout the upcoming calls, you know, our testimonial calls, they also share their experiences with Link, OptimEnd, Genomics. So it's very good to chime in and more so to invite people to the call. As you know, we started as of last night awarding anyone who brings a new person to our weekly calls 20 product reward points. So we encourage you to invite those in your teams or those who are interested in learning about not only our products, which is on the first week of every Tuesday, of every month, but also the third Tuesday, we have our presentation calls, you know, where we do our company, you know, and go into the compensation plan in a little bit more detail. Next week, we'll be having our newcomers call where our CEO, David Brown, welcomes in any new enrollees to our company. They also ask them if they have any questions. So it's a good time to chime in And we would welcome each and everyone on this call and those who are already distributors who have joined to welcome our new enrollees to the company. It sets definitely a powerful message. It sends a powerful message to those new enrollees coming in when they see how many people are on the call, and then they feel welcome because of your support. So we encourage everyone to join in next week, Tuesday, on our newcomers call. And then once again, our third Tuesday of the month will be our company presentation. Fourth Tuesday, as you know, will then be our medical forum, where we talk about the product, but more of the science with in-depth information on that. So continue to put that on your calendars. We encourage you to attend, but also we encourage you to invite people to this call so we can reward both them and you for attending. So please stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you on the weekly Tuesday calls. Back to you, Dale.
Awesome. Thanks, Stu. And yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. This little deal that we're doing for each of the guests that you bring for 20 PV, that's going on for the next 3 months, okay? So make sure that whoever you bring, make sure that it might be a new enrollee, have them come in, join us on a Tuesday night, and get yourself that 20 PV. All right, up next, we've got Mumford, who wants to talk about the 500 Club. Mumford?
Thank you, Dale and Stuart and Angie. It's been fun to hear from everyone. I wanted to share about the 500 Club going on right now. So just a reminder, we've re-kicked off the 500 Club in February. So that means all enrollments from February through the end of April are included in this 500 Club window. So that means if you enroll 10 new enrollees at 200 PV or more, you can re-qualify for your 500 Club. One thing that I think is really powerful is that the 500 Club is always running for new enrollees. So as these new people come in, they don't need to try to qualify in that shortened time through April 30th. A new enrollee always has 90 days from their enrollment date to qualify for the 500 Club. Every new enrollee always has that opportunity. So while you're qualifying for the 500 Club and getting them in, they have the exact same opportunity that you do, and they have 90 days from their start date. So make sure that the 500 Club is something that we're always talking about with new enrollees as they join. A quick reminder, the fastest way to get to $500 income a month and more is to join the 500 Club, is to get going in that group. The largest percentage of people that are in those upper ranks have all qualified for the 500 Club. It's kind of one of those first check marks you need to cross off on your path to success here at ACTIVZ. So make sure that you're talking about the 500 Club and recognizing those in your team that are also running and racing for it. So if you didn't get started in February, don't worry about it. You've got all the month of March and all of the month of April. And traditionally, in our company, as well as kind of globally, March is a fantastic month for growth. So traditionally, we've seen huge growth in the months of March at ACTIVZ. I think that warmer weather and the start of spring, people just get excited for what's happening in the future and what they're doing. And now is a perfect time to help them. And you can't start off better than with Aero, right? Like we've heard all these amazing stats. We've heard what's happening. Start getting people to join and racing for the 500 Club with Aero in their bundles. So hope to announce a whole bunch of more 500 Club winners here in the future.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Mumford. All right. That's the updates that we have for today. I want to turn some time over to Ryan and David. You guys can figure out how you want to share, but just to give us some closing thoughts for today.
I'll go first. I think Ryan is still warming up. He's going to close with the robot dance, I think. That was on the agenda. But I'm actually glad a lot of these things were good information for me. When Angie was talking about losing the pudge, my wife is also working with Sinead, and I was going to put a call into her today because I was really concerned. I didn't know what the pudge was. I was concerned it might be me, and she might be encouraging her to lose me. And so I'm glad that I'm not the pudge that she was talking about. So thanks for that clarification, Angie. Appreciate that. And, you know, I was also thinking about some other things recently. I was thinking about the fact that about 6 months ago, when I first had my shoulder surgery, shortly thereafter, I did a video for our Japanese distributors in which I told them that I wanted to be 100% healed within 9 months, even though my surgeon had told me at the time that it would take me 12 months. Well, the bad news is, or the good news is, my shoulder's coming along. The bad news is my surgeon told me about a month ago that it would probably be 15 months before I get 100% strength back. And I thought, okay, now I've told these, I'm still working hard, but I might have to revise my goal and go back to our distributors and say, well, right, Stu? It's doing it inside of 9 months might be a little bit difficult, but have to change that goal. And the reason for that is, you know, I had a rotator cuff injury and a completely torn ligament that I had been dealing with in other ways for over 10 years. And, you know, our ligaments attach muscles to muscles, right? I mean, they connect muscles and allow them to move. And so when I asked my surgeon, I said, wow, why is it still so weak? He said, well, you dealt with that in various ways, in ways that most people don't. He says, so the muscle that it was attached to just atrophied. You didn't use it for 10 years. And so you can't expect it to get full strength back, even, you know, within a short period of time. He said, the good news is you probably will. Well, other than sometimes people think my whole world revolves around getting my shoulder better, which it doesn't. But it got me thinking about, in my experience, why I think some people succeed generally in life, and specifically in network marketing, and some people don't reach their goals. One thing I do know is that I don't know of anyone, and maybe Ryan and Angie do, but very few people that I know that really succeeded in direct sales did it the very first time out of the gate. In fact, most of the people I know that succeeded and succeeded strongly really had mediocre or just middling results at various other companies. But then something happened, you know, and I wonder, you know, if I think about what happened to have them go from kind of an average or below average experience to all of a, not all of a sudden, but at some point having it, you know, kick in. You know, I kind of compare it to this atrophied muscle in my shoulder. It's not that they didn't always have the ability. It's not like they suddenly drank a magical elixir and got better and smarter and stronger. They were still the same people with the same abilities, but something happened. And as I was thinking about what that ability might be, I was listening to a sports program the other day, and they were talking about a very talented athlete whose talents and abilities were not in question. But then the commentator said something kind of interesting. He said, but the most important ability is availability. And if they aren't available because of their injuries, it doesn't matter what their other talents are. And I kind of related that to this, thinking that, you know, we all have the abilities to achieve the things we want, whether it be weight loss, whether it be achieving our business goals or other goals. It's really an issue, I think, of whether we make ourselves available. Do we make the time available? Or are we simply prioritizing other things? And I think losing weight is a perfect example. You know, people go on and off diets all the time. We often want to lose the pudge. We want to lose whatever it is. But, you know, cookies kind of take a priority, or the chips, or we don't really like to exercise all that much, or we stop and we start and we don't do. And so we fill that time in with other things that we make available, and we don't make ourselves available to do those things that are really necessary. And I think that for me, in order to get this atrophied muscle going, it requires resistance training, resistance exercises, building it up. And so I guess where I'm going with all this kind of meandering talk is that if we really want to succeed at ACTIVZ or anything else, I think we have all the tools. I think what we might be lacking, whether it be the corporate level or individual distributors, is making ourselves available and allowing ourselves to feel that resistance, doing things that are painful, not very much fun, but really are necessary to growing our business and getting those atrophied muscles going. For some people, it might simply be sharing it and experiencing the possibility of rejection. Other people, the sharing part was okay, but they don't really like the follow-up. They don't want to be a pest. They don't want to, hassle people. For others, it might just be, I don't really want to learn that much about the science. I don't want to, whatever it is. We all have our spots of resistance that really aren't that much fun. Stu can tell you that even amongst people that like to lift weights and like to get bigger, often guys especially don't like to do leg days, right? Because they like to have the big muscles in their arms and the broad shoulders and the big chest, but leg days, resistance training on your legs is just not very much fun for most people. It's hard. You're no matter how what kind of shape you're in, you're usually sore the next day, and so a lot of people just skip it. And they say it's not worth it. And I think if we apply those principles of because in my experience, the people that actually do succeed are the ones that do the difficult, hard things that are painful and just aren't that much fun. And they don't just do them once; they do them pretty much every day. And like Sinead is talking with Angie and others, they don't do it overnight. They usually take baby steps. They usually pick one or two things that's really difficult for them, and then they just get better at it. And in my experience, that's really where the real results come from. And I think actually that's why it becomes the good news about that is that those things that are difficult at first, the longer we persist in doing them, they get easier. And that's when we look back after we've achieved something, we think, oh, yeah, that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed those days. It's kind of like when I first got married. I look back in our early marriage days when we had no money and we were struggling just to provide anything. Now we look back on those days fondly, even at the time we're like, I don't know about this. This is pretty tough. And it's because you got through a difficult time in life by learning how to adapt and grow and push forward. And so I guess what I'm saying is that the more resistance in pursuing towards your goals, that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. And then number two is that as we look for those things to strengthen our business, strengthen our abilities to get better, keep doing it. As I was clearing my desk off last night in preparation for doing a video that I owe Trish, I have all these files of science pertaining to our products. And so I started looking through some of these studies, some of which I meant to get to and I hadn't read yet, some of which I'd read before and I revisited, and it got me excited all over again. I'm thinking, man, these products are so incredible. There's so much out there, whether it was in regards to diabetes, whether it was in regards to MS, whether it was in regards to all these type of things. It just got me really excited. And maybe that's what we need to do sometimes, is to get ourselves re-energized, go back and remind ourselves of what got us excited about this in the first place. And maybe we haven't thought about it for a while. But I can tell you that in my experience, the difficult things that we persist in are always the most worthwhile. They're always the most rewarding. And ultimately, we can find that we can turn those weak things and make them a little bit stronger for us. And so that's my morning sermon. Keep the faith. I think that you're all doing wonderful things. It's great to be part of something that's growing. Remind yourself that regardless of where you live, you are part of a growing international business. And we didn't get there on our own. You're all part of it. And you may think, well, my part is not as significant as I want it to be. Okay, fine. Make it more significant. It's all up to you. And we're here to help you at every step of the way. So thanks, that's it. And now, Mr. Thompson, whether you want to dance or not, bring us on home.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close with the robot. Thanks, David. Wouldn't that be funny if I did? Good morning, everybody. It's been a while since I've been on this call, at least 2 or 3 weeks. It's been an interesting past few weeks for me. Last weekend, I believe you probably heard about an event we had after a very long cold winter that lasted about a year of not really traveling or doing any trips. We held an in-person ACTIVZ Academy in Monterrey, Mexico. For qualified A8s and above. And then there were some that purchased tickets to attend as well. I want to share a couple of things that stood out. Before I do, and just one observation from last weekend, or a week, now I guess 2 weekends ago. Prior to, the craziest thing happened. I was, getting ready to travel down there. We're still working on kind of last minute preparations. And about 3 weekends ago now, my head started to throb. The left side of my head, I'm thinking, that's strange. I will get headaches normally when I fly on airplanes, but outside of that, I don't get them. And it got worse and worse. So I'm like, okay, it's my tooth. Called my dentist, scheduled an appointment because I have an old filling that had come out from, a couple of decades ago. And long story short, it got really bad. I don't know how many of you have ever experienced tooth pain. It got so bad that there was no sleeping at all. And all I could do was hold ice or ice water in my mouth. And my wife called the dentist and said, this is really an emergency. And I was flying on a red-eye flight to Mexico Thursday night. This was Monday morning, not having slept Sunday night. And I got in, I guess, Tuesday afternoon, they were able to see me. I went to the ER. There is a reason why I'm sharing this with you. The story ends well. There's a happy ending. I did get a root canal just prior to getting on the airplane and flying to Mexico. But with all this talk about Aero, Angie, and hearing you talk about your achievements and Karen's last night, they asked me. I went to the ER. It was 1 or 1:30 in the morning by the time they saw me, and it was Monday night, and I just felt like I was in my own personal hell. I mean, literally, it was bad. And first thing they asked me to do was to get on the scale, and I'm thinking, this is the definition of adding insult to injury here. I'm there for this exposed nerve I have in my mouth. And so they weighed me, and then I kind of paused this pain experience because I really wanted to know how much I weighed. I haven't weighed myself in a year. And they said 191. And I thought, wow, that's pretty heavy. That's probably the heaviest I've ever been. And immediately the thought came to my mind, I need to take Aero a little bit more seriously. So ever since then, I've actually been using it, and I'm trying to get down to my fighting weight again, and it's working. I love Aero. My tip for all of you who are going to be getting it now, since it started shipping yesterday, is experiment a little bit. I like to heat mine up. I know Susana Gutierrez says this also, and I drink it hot. I drink it warm in the morning and then in the afternoon. And for me, it is a very different experience than drinking it cold. I drive my kids to school every morning, and I absolutely love it. It's now become a ritual just over the last week. So anyways, that's my plug for Aero as well. It really is a phenomenal product. I know talking to Christina Godoy yesterday, she was just, I didn't solicit this, but, just telling me her experience with it and how much she likes it as well. So I can't wait to hear from all of you guys. All right, let's get to Monterrey, Mexico. I'm going to share something with you that happened a week ago, just over a week ago on Saturday. One of many, many great experiences. We had a company down there called the Emotion Group, led by a woman named Adriana Jacobo. And she's a personal development coach. She has a company, and she trains corporations, individuals, groups like ours. And we were up high in the mountains, looking, just way above Monterrey, Mexico. I hope that you all have seen the recap video. If you haven't, please watch it. It's a very cool video. But why I'm sharing that with you is she had us do a couple different things, right? Physical activity to teach us lessons about ourselves, about our emotions, about limitations, and about the importance of teamwork. And one of these experiences, I'm going to share my screen real quick. She put us in little groups, and she had us do things that as grown adults, we would never have attempted had we not been in a small team of people that was a group of people that was helping us. And what she taught us to do was accomplish some pretty remarkable physical feats where we had to rely on a group of people that would, kind of help us kind of overcome fear. And I'm going to share my picture because I don't know if Maribel is here on the screen, but this is just to give you an idea. This is Maribel Serna from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And you can kind of see there's little groups of people here. This is part of Maribel's group. And she essentially had to lay down in the air almost horizontally, reaching out to put her dream, which is represented by a ball, in the middle of the circle with other people's dreams. And she was only able to accomplish that by using her team, by her team supporting her. I think that you can all kind of get the lesson. I could probably wax philosophical all morning about this, but really it put into everybody's heads crystal clear, right? The importance of a team, the importance of being able to rely on other people. There is a tendency sometimes by some people who say, I can do this myself. I can pull myself up to A16 on my own accord, or to A12, or to A10, or to A6, or I can make, if success is gonna occur, it's gonna be because I will it. It's going to be me. I don't know that there's any great business leader who believes that. Everybody knows that you need people to succeed, right? You need a team of people who share a common goal and a common vision. And so in Monterrey, Mexico, a week ago Saturday, 140 people, every single person without exception did this. And there were people who were not physically fit, who have challenges, and because they relied on their team, they were able to do this. And the lesson for me was made very loud and clear that we need each other, right? We need each other to succeed. We need each other to reach our goals. And I wish all of you could have been there with me and with other members of the team and with those who attended in Monterrey, Mexico, because this one lesson of the many lessons that were instilled a week ago Saturday, this was probably the best lesson for me personally. It underscored for me that so many things, we have to be there for each other. We have to look out for each other. And conversely to that, we have to allow ourselves to always be teachable, to always be learning, and to always be okay with help, with accepting help from others. It doesn't matter what our rank is. It doesn't matter how much we make. Being able to be allowing ourselves or making ourselves be humble enough to accept that help is the only way to continue to reach higher heights and to continue to progress. So I want to share that with you. I think there was something else I was going to share, but that's probably the lesson I wanted to share with you that really stood out. So, without waxing philosophical or getting preachy, let's just remember that in all of our goals and everything we're trying to accomplish here at ACTIVZ, work well as a team. In my 25 years, official years on the corporate and distributor side of the direct selling or network marketing industry, I've never known one person who's made it that did it on their own. The people who make it come from tightly knit teams. And it is always a team effort to quote unquote make it. I can't think of one person who's ever come in who's been a great leader. And sometimes we think, wow, that guy was making 100 grand, 2 companies ago or a company ago, man, they're going to just rise to the top. I've never seen that happen unless the person works closely at a team. I have seen people with 0 experience, and I've seen people with lots of experience make it to the top. But the common denominator is they have a tight team that they rely on, that works together, that has great synergy. So, my challenge to everybody is double down on your team, right? Really find the people that you jive with, that you mesh with, where there's synergy, and commit to each other. Say, you know what? Let's build this team, right? Just focus on team, focus on relationship building. Everything is a byproduct of that. Success ultimately is a byproduct of how well you work with people and how well you work in a team. I've seen people with tremendous potential not make it, not rank advance, not get there, and they cannot understand why. From my observation, it's because they weren't very good at working in a team. They weren't a good team member, right? They wanted to do things by themselves. They didn't trust other people. And that lack of trust is what held them back. So make sure you remember that. I want to just kind of finish my quote with a really cool quote from Andrew Carnegie, or Carnegie, however you want to pronounce that. He said, teamwork is the ability to work together toward a common vision. It is the very fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. So that was my lesson learned two Saturdays ago. I want to share that with you. Have a phenomenal week. We're still, I mean, the very first week of March. Let's make this a banner month. Let's really dig deep and let's build that team and accomplish great things. So all that said, Dale, I'll turn the time back to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Don't go anywhere because we have our raffle coming at you right now. Angie, she's got it shared. All right, let it rip.
All right, who is going to be our lucky winner today? So we have everyone listed that was on the call, even our guests. So if a guest wins, we'll send them a swag items, but this is going to be for 60 reward points. So here we go on our raffle.
How do you make that wheel spin like that? Wow. Diogenes.
All right, Diogenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bravo.
Please
Well
give
done,
me your
sir.
ID number in the chat so I can add your reward points. And then also
Awesome.
Beatrice, since I saw that you joined, Beatrice, I need your ID number as well so we can get your reward points from a couple of weeks ago. So Diogenes, Beatrice, send me your ID number in the chat. I'm not going to close this until I get those so we can get your reward points. But thank you all for joining on the call today. And we will see you on the newcomers call on Tuesday.
Thanks, Angie.
Hey, everybody.
Have a great day, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.